You won't believe what they did for fame and money. This video dives into the dark side, sharing stories that'll make your hair stand up and send chills down your spine. We're talking about real deals with the devil and what it truly means to sign your name in blood. After hearing these testimonies, you won't be able to shrug this off as just myths. Guys, it seems like the devil isn't hiding anymore. You can see it everywhere, dominating the majority of movies, music, award shows, and yes, even the NFL. This video might unsettle some of you, especially as it involves many celebrities you admire. So, if you're not ready to face these truths, it might be better to stop watching now. But if you're prepared to uncover the reality behind the glamour, let's begin. The journey to fame is often illuminated by the spotlight, but it's the shadows that tell the more intriguing stories. As we dive into the lives of some of the most celebrated names in the entertainment industry, we uncover a pattern that's as revealing as it is chilling. First up is Bob Dylan, whose frank admission about his rise to fame adds a profound layer to our discussion. Dylan reveals the foundations of his success, which he intriguingly describes as making a deal with the commander-in-chief of this world and the world we don't see, in his own words. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
Following Dylan, we turn to Kanye West, a true visionary in the music industry. Kanye has shared insights that really make you rethink what success means. He's talked about how personal losses have shadowed the careers of legends like Michael Jordan, Bill Cosby, and Dr. Dre, highlighting a much darker side of fame. Without revealing too much, let's just say that Kanye believes the price of fame is much steeper than many of us imagine.
My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm appreciative.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me.
That's more important than keeping alive.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard.
Devil took all the producers, the musicians, the designers, moved us all out to Hollywood, moved us all out to New York, chasing gold statues, literally signing a contract and selling our souls.
A$AP Rocky's journey adds another layer to this narrative. Imagine reaching the pinnacle of your career, only to find that each album release coincides with a personal loss. The rapper's experiences raise questions about the sacrifices tied to success in the music industry. Let's hear what A$AP Rocky has to say about this pattern.
Or every time I'm about to release an album, for some strange reason, man, you know what I'm saying? I always lose somebody close to me. It was my pops, it was Jams, it was my sister, I always lose somebody close to me, so, I feel like, some crazy, jinx and some just.
Maybe I notice every time I put out an album, it's like I lose somebody. Like I lost my pops with my first album, I lost Yams with my second album.
Then there's DaBaby, whose career milestone was shadowed by a heartbreaking personal loss. The timing of his success and his father's death is a stark reminder of the dual-edged sword that is fame. DaBaby's reflection on this moment in his life is a compelling listen, one that might change how you view the glitz and glamour of celebrity life.
And you really lost him the same day you hit number
Swear to
one
God,
with Suge?
the same time, it was Baby on Baby, it went like number one.
Okay.
It went like number one on Apple Music, iTunes. It was like number 7 or something like that. And then I had got the phone call I had got the phone call. My brother woke me up. He like, hey, call your little brother. My little brother, my dad. So I call your little brother. He DM me. Oh, he woke me up. I'm like, DM you, what's up? Pick up the phone. I call him. I'm halfway asleep. He bro, dad, bro, he dead. He died. I'm like, what? I set up in my bed. I'm like, what? Same time, Carter, he blowing my phone up. Blowing me up while I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm thinking he calling to deliver the same news. I click over, what's up, bro? We number one, you did it. You did it. I'm like, damn.
As we navigate these thought-provoking waters, we're about to delve into Christina Cheney's riveting testimony. She shares a haunting exchange with an influential figure in the industry who eerily suggested that a pact with the devil could skyrocket her to fame overnight. Yet, this is merely the surface. Cheney's story delves into depths that promise to unveil even more startling revelations, shedding light on the darkest corners of the quest for fame and success.
So the very first time when I was working with this producer, we were working on my first album to get me shopped to get a major deal. And we were taking a break from recording this album, and he took me around the studio. And this is someone who's been in the industry, like he's worked with big names. And so he was like, hey, so you know that if you were to sell your soul to the devil, you can have instant fame tomorrow. And
wait,
when he's...
Who said that?
I really don't want to say his name.
Oh, but it was
a producer I was working with. Yes, a music producer I was working with.
He actually said those words.
He actually said those words. And he took me away from like my team. So he had me by myself. So it was like a whole lot happened in that moment. Like discernment happened in that moment for me that I never really experienced before. It was almost like he made a mistake in his career and he was using me to try to get to where he really wanted to be. But he didn't want to sell his soul. So he's like, but if you sell your soul, we can go high. And it was like, in that moment, I received all this knowledge and a huge, just, what I can explain was like something fell on me. And I fell to the ground where I could not stand. And I started weeping and crying out to the Lord saying, forgive me, because I wasn't living right. And so when he said that, it was almost like, what have I done? How deep am I in this disobedience place? So I fell on the floor and I started, just crying out and saying, Lord, forgive me. I don't want to do anything without you. Like, the true nature of who I am. Like I wanted him to forgive me. And after that whole thing, I look up and the man was sitting on the, it's like he fell, I guess, because he was sitting weird and his head was down as I was praying and crying out to God in front of this man. I did not care because the conviction behind his words really hit me.
The idea of trading one's soul for a fast track to success transforms from mere metaphor to a chilling reality for some. The seductive lure of immediate fame, wealth, and power can be overwhelming. However, as we've uncovered, this path is fraught with hidden costs, leading us to ponder the true worth of such pursuits. The exchange, immense public attention and personal compromise for fame's fleeting rewards, forces us to consider if it's genuinely worthwhile. Does the real expense of fame, illuminated by those who've tasted its heights, uncover a more disturbing facet of our aspirations and dreams? What do the vast majority of the biggest superstars in the world have in common? Paradoxically, their journey to immense fame and fortune often culminates in profound despair. Numerous artists have conceded that, despite their considerable wealth, influence, and global recognition, the ultimate outcome of their existence has been one of profound unhappiness. Alarmingly, countless individuals have been misled by the falsehood that mimicking the lifestyles of these celebrated figures is the key to achieving joy and satisfaction. A multitude of lives have been squandered in the pursuit of happiness through the accumulation of wealth, fame, dominance, engagement in occult activities, promiscuity, and substance abuse. An examination of many top-tier superstars, athletes, and icons of rock, pop, and hip-hop music reveals a recurring theme. The glamour of fame often masks a reality filled with anguish, obscurity, and despair. Celebrated actor Brad Pitt has openly shared his profound sense of void despite attaining vast wealth and fame, drawing a parallel to the figure of the prodigal son in Jesus' parable of the prodigal son. This parable tells the story of a young man who prematurely demands his inheritance from his father, only to waste it on dissolute living. However, the narrative takes a turn as the son realizes his mistake and returns to his father, who greets him with forgiveness and love. Jesus shared this parable not just to highlight the hollowness of worldly possessions, but to underscore God's immense love for those who repent and return to Him. Pitt identifies with the lesson of the parable, stating, "You will not be alive again until you come home to the Father's ways." Yet, he also admits, "I never thought past believing." This admission reveals a profound spiritual emptiness within Pitt. He confided in a Rolling Stone interview that the chase for material gains has left him and others feeling void, saying, "Man, I know all these things are supposed to seem important to us. The car, the condo, our version of success. I say toss all this, we gotta find something else. But all I know is that at this point in time, we're heading for a dead end, a numbing of the soul, a complete atrophy of the spiritual being. I don't want that. The emphasis now is on success and personal gain. I'm telling you, that's not it. I am the guy who's got everything, but once you've got everything, then you're just left with yourself."
That was Satanism. It's working on good. I made a pact. The movie came out so well. No, but really dealing with, you're told certain things as you grow up, and I'm a big believer, and you have to try things on for yourself and really figure out who you are and what works for you.
Pitt's reflection brings to light a deep contemplation of societal values, underscoring the vacuum left by material success without spiritual fulfillment, echoing the timeless message of Jesus and the necessity of a connection with God for true contentment. Mega actress Megan Fox has become a notable example among many celebrities who have explored the realms of the occult and demonism, finding themselves entangled in deep depression despite their immense fame. In June of 2023, Fox made headlines after declaring herself a witch and issuing a bizarre threat to perform a satanic ritual that involved consuming the raw flesh of animal carcasses in a man's yard. This threat emerged after the man alleged hearing one of Fox's sons express reluctance to wear girls' clothing, accusing Fox of mistreating her boys by forcing them into such attire. The Washington Post has documented Fox's struggles with body dysmorphia and mental health issues, despite her once really bright and sunny and happy disposition. Fox admits to developing manic depression over time. In a conversation with CR Fashion Book, Fox shares insights into her and Machine Gun Kelly's interactions with the spirits. She reflects on her role in the film Jennifer's Body, where she played a demon-possessed, cannibalistic murderer, a character transformation triggered by a satanic ritual. Fox acknowledges her deliberate engagement with ancient demonic forces in her pursuit of stardom, suggesting that these practices have exacerbated her manic-depressive state. She opened herself to these entities, which were among those that rebelled against God alongside Satan. Fox confessed, "But as I got in my early 20s, that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned demon did rise up in me. I did tap into that archetype a few times as well. That's kind of what you see in Jennifer's Body, that sort of nasty streak that can exist if you align yourself with that ancient energy." The late actor and comedian Robin Williams, in a moment of candor before his passing, revealed how he tapped into otherworldly forces for his performances. "Yeah, literally. It's like possession," he described. "All of a sudden, you're in, and because it's in front of a live audience, you just get this energy that starts going." He noted the paradoxical nature of this possession, which once could have led to condemnation, but also provided a powerful stage presence. "It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where you really can become this other force," Williams explained, highlighting why he felt no need to portray villains since he already navigated those boundaries on stage. Unfortunately, Williams' flirtation with these forces was one he could not always control, serving as a poignant reminder of the hidden struggles faced by many. Known for eliciting laughter, Williams himself found little joy in his personal life, resorting to substances like cocaine and alcohol to fill the void within. Despite his beloved role as Mork, his stand-up routines, laced with perverse humor and drug references, painted a starkly different picture.
There's a voice, and it's a little quiet voice that goes, jump. It's the same voice. The same voice that goes, just one. There's a voice that goes, jump. And the idea of just one. And for someone who has no tolerance for it, that's not a possibility.
To talk about it as caused by something that
Not caused by anything, it's just there. It's just, it's latent, waits. It lays in wait, and for the time when you think, it's fine now, I'm okay. And then beep. And then the next thing you know, it's not okay.
Williams, influenced by these dark entities, left a complex legacy, intertwining immense talent with profound inner turmoil. This narrative echoes in the sports world, where numerous athletes confront deep despair and thoughts of despair, despite their outward success.
Maybe a lot of people would say, hey man, this is what it is. I reached my goal, my dream, my life is me. I thank God. It's got to be more than this. I mean, this can't be what it's all cracked up to be. I mean, I've done it. I'm 27, and what else is there for me?
I'd wake up and I think, why did I wake up this morning? This is coming from a man who had everything: money, fame, glory, titles, a wife, a family, kids, everything. But I felt as if I had nothing. I felt there was an empty, gaping hole that was just filled with gloom and doom, and it just was one bad thing happened to me after another. And it wasn't until after the Klitschko fight, a very massive high, then I had to have a even worse low, lowest low that anyone could ever have.
Even Tom Brady, celebrated as the greatest of all time in the NFL, has not been immune to profound personal challenges. CBS highlighted an unusual aspect of Brady's life, noting that the secret of Brady's success was that he married a witch, a playful nod to his former wife, Giselle. This comment was made in a lighter vein, especially after the Patriots' victory over the Rams in Super Bowl 53, when Giselle reportedly reminded Brady of his good fortune in having a witch for a wife. Brady himself has openly acknowledged this intriguing facet of his life on camera, adding a unique layer to the narrative of his storied career.
I've learned a lot from my wife over the years. She's so about the power of intention, and believing things that are really going to happen. And she always makes a little altar for me at the game, because she just wills it so much. And so she put together a little altar for me that I could bring with pictures of my kids. And I have these little special stones and healing stones and protection stones, and she has me wear a necklace and take these drops she makes. And I say all these mantras. And I stopped questioning her a long time ago. I did. I just shut up and listened. And at first I was like, this is kind of crazy. And then about 4 years ago, we were playing the Seahawks, and she said, you better listen to me. This is your year, but this is all the things you're going to have to do to win. And I did all those things, and by God, it worked. It was pretty good. And then in 2015, it was about early January, and she said, you know how much I love you? And I said, yeah. And she said, I just want to let you know this is not going to be your year. Oh. And of course we lost. I said, what does 16 look like? And she said, 16 is going to be your year. So it was early January this year, and I said, babe, I asking, do we have a chance? And she said, yeah, but you're going to have to do a lot of work, and you're really going to have to listen to me. So, man, I listened to her. And right after the game, she said, see, I did a lot of work. You do your work, I do mine. She said, you're lucky you married a witch. I'm just a good witch.
A curious observation emerges when examining the lives of those who seemingly possess everything that is often equated with happiness, fame, fortune, and acclaim. Rather than attaining fulfillment, a profound spiritual emptiness prevails. This pattern is not exclusive to renowned actors, actresses, and sport figures. It similarly affects leading personalities in the music industry, including iconic rock, pop, and rap artists.
I was living my dream. I literally, if you could go to 16-year-old Rainn Wilson, what's your dream? Live in New York City, be paid to be an actor, have cool friends, have a beautiful girlfriend, live in a loft, and have a van, and collaborate artistically with really cool people. I mean, I was living my dream, and I was miserable. I was just like, what the f is going on? Like, why am I waking up at 3 a.m, just like staring at the wall? Why am I considering, like, what? How? This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm living my dream. This is what you wanted, asshole. Why are you so ungrateful? And I was deeply, deeply unhappy.
If I get this, I'll be happy. If I do this, I'll be happy. Because I felt like I was like, bro, I was like dying. My security and stuff were coming into the room at night to check my pulse. Like, people don't know how serious it got. Like, it was legit crazy scary. I was waking up in the morning and the first thing I was doing is popping pills and smoking a blunt and starting my day. You know, so it just got scary. I basically said to myself, I'm like, God, if you're real, you get me through this season of stopping these pills and stuff. And if you do, I'll do the rest of the work. And then I did that, and then I was good from there, but I never did the actual work. I got off the pills, but I never went to the root of everything. So then I just like kind of circled back around, which most people do.
You know, I walked into this, my life was on fire. I was walking out of hell. It wasn't like I willingly came in here on a white horse singing show tunes. I came in here on fire, and I didn't want to be an actor anymore, and my life was a mess, complete mess, and I had hurt a lot of people, and I felt deep shame, deep guilt. I didn't like to go outside much. I really, like, I had a yearning not be here anymore.
I was completely didn't want to live anymore. I thought that I was completely alone. I also realized how lucky I was and what a wonderful family, wonderful friends I had, but that didn't matter. I wanted the world to swallow me up, and nothing seemed better to me than which is completely insane. It was more like the external life. I couldn't be luckier, more blessed, but the internal battles that were going on were just, I also felt like I never deserved any of it, that I was living someone else's dream.
How often do you still battle with depression?
Oh, I'm always depressed, all the time. I have to constantly bring myself out of it. Like, I wake up depressed, but like, I'm like, okay, now I know my steps, because like, you learn from the real, like, now I have to go outside and be in the sun for a little bit, or go for a walk, or like start the day this way. It's all just programming yourself to trick your brain, you know?
Will you ever
Yeah, all the time. But I can't, because I got a mom and a sister and like a family. So like, I've always been, but I've never had like the balls, you know?
The demons that are known as addiction and depression are very, very real. They are diseases no different than cancer. You can't see depression. You can't see addiction. It festers inside. It metastasizes. It takes over your body, your mind, your soul. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of losing everybody I love to depression and addiction. Every single band member on the stage has dealt with those feelings, with those demons. And I miss the friends that we've lost. Miss Chester, Miss Scott, Miss Chris. And if I can be completely honest with you, a couple months ago, I almost joined them. Addiction and depression can happen to anyone, ladies and gentlemen. No one is immune from it, no matter how beautiful their life may look from the outside, no matter how blessed they may seem. It's out of our control.
Even the iconic Elvis Presley, revered as the king of rock and roll, was not immune to profound internal struggles. He experienced intense depression, anger, and uncontrollable rage. Elvis was deeply involved in the occult, believing he was being guided by a spiritual presence he initially mistook for his deceased brother Aaron. He was convinced these spirits had singled him out to be a messianic figure for a new age, leading others into occult practices. Sadly, Elvis's life ended prematurely at 42 due to a severe heart attack, an event that found him engaging with hardcore pornography and an occult text, sex, and psychic energy. His close associates, the Memphis Mafia, attested to his use of occult forces to sway his audience. Despite his monumental fame, Elvis expressed to Pastor James Hamill, his childhood pastor from the First Assembly of God in Memphis, his profound unhappiness. He confessed, "Pastor, I'm the most miserable young man you've ever seen. I've got all the money I'll ever need to spend. I've got millions of fans. I got friends, but I'm doing what you taught me not to do, and I'm not doing the things you taught me to do." John Lennon, the visionary leader of the Beatles, also navigated through deep-seated despair, hopelessness, and depression. In a dialogue with David Sheff, Lennon echoed the satanic maxim of Aleister Crowley, "Do what thou wilt," encapsulating the ethos of the Beatles as, the whole Beatle idea was, do what thou wilt. In a gesture of acknowledgement to the Satanist Celeste Crowley, his likeness was positioned prominently on their album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Lennon's pact with darkness was further revealed in an admission to Ray Coleman, stating, "I've sold my soul to the devil." Shortly before his death, Lennon penned a letter to a Christian minister, reflecting on his song, "Money Can't Buy Me Love," conceding, "It's true, I want happiness. I don't want to keep on with the drugs. I want out of hell." His story, like those of many others, underscores the futility of seeking fulfillment in wealth, drugs, and fame, which failed to fill the profound emptiness within. The tragic fates of these icons reveal a haunting pattern, a surrender to dark forces in exchange for fleeting worldly success, leaving them devoid of true joy and peace. This echoes the dire warning attributed to Jesus, questioning the value of worldly gain at the cost of one's soul. Like the countless celebrities we've examined, millions daily attempt to satiate the void within the ephemeral pleasures, only to find themselves ensnared in deeper darkness. Michael Jackson, globally celebrated as the king of pop, shared a profound and personal revelation in his autobiography, Moonwalk, highlighting the depths of his isolation despite his monumental fame. "I'm one of the loneliest people in the world. People think you're lucky, that you have everything. They think you can go anywhere and do anything. But that's not the point." He confessed his loneliness was so intense that he wouldn't wish it on anyone, stating, "I believe I'm one of the loneliest people in the world." Jackson also disclosed his experiences with channeling spirit entities within a mirror-filled room, which he believed inspired his music. He claimed that many of his songs were received during sleep, fearing that a lack of rest might result in these spirits offering their inspiration to Prince instead. Jackson's connection to Elvis Presley, through his marriage to Presley's daughter Lisa Marie, highlighted a poignant awareness of the potential for self-destruction, remarking, "The way Elvis destroyed himself interests me because I don't ever want to walk those grounds myself." In a tragic parallel, Lisa Marie observed that her father's fate mirrored Jackson's own demise. Michael Jackson passed away at 50 due to a drug overdose in Los Angeles, echoing the sad narratives of Elvis and John Lennon, where neither drugs, wealth, nor fame could mend the profound emptiness within.
But money is the root of all evil, as you know. The love of money is the root of all evil.
Madonna, the iconic female artist whose career spanned decades, despite achieving unparalleled global fame, has confronted severe depression throughout her life. Known for her engagement with occult practices, including the mystical Kabbalah, Madonna has openly associated her use of crucifixes with sexual perversion, controversially stating, "Crucifixes are sexy because there's a naked man on them." In January 2023, she sparked further controversy with an all-female Last Supper photo shoot for Vanity Fair's European Icon issue, casting herself as Jesus Christ. Despite the adoration of countless fans and the thrill of touring, Madonna has admitted to battling profound internal demons, confessing, "I'm a tormented person. I have a lot of demons inside of me." These confessions from some of the world's most iconic figures underscore a common theme of deep-seated loneliness and the unfulfilled quest for happiness through fame and material success, revealing a stark contrast between public perception and private reality. Kurt Cobain, the iconic frontman of Nirvana, which is celebrated as the pinnacle of grunge music, harbored a deep fascination with Anton LaVey, the notorious founder of the Church of Satan and author of the Satanic Bible. Cobain's interest in Lavi was so intense that he attempted to involve him in Nirvana's groundbreaking album, Nevermind, proposing Lavi play the cello on the record. This obsession offers a glimpse into the possible origins of Cobain's musical genius, characterized by his ability to craft irresistibly seductive melodies that seem to emerge from a place beyond his own understanding, as if he stumbled on melodies by means he himself didn't fully understand. Despite his monumental fame, Cobain grappled with profound emptiness, drug addiction, and chronic depression. His life came to a tragic end when he took his own life with a shotgun, a demise that hinted at a feeling of abandonment by the very demonic influences that once fueled his creativity. The author of Cobain's biography suggests that Cobain felt deserted by his muse, metaphorically stating his muse had flown south. In his side note, Cobain expressed a transformation into a miserable self-destructive death rocker and articulated a growing disdain for humanity, wishing death upon nearly everyone, with very few exceptions. Cobain's mother, Wendy O'Connor, mournfully remarked that her son had gone and joined that stupid club, a reference to the infamous 27 Club, a group of influential musicians who all died at the age of 27, including Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison. This remark underscores the tragic pattern of talented artists whose lives unravel, often as a result of their dalliances with dark forces. Cobain's story is a stark reminder of the perilous consequences that can occupy the search for inspiration and success through engagement with the occult. Lady Gaga and Katy Perry, two of the most prominent figures in contemporary pop music, have openly discussed their struggles with feelings of emptiness and depression, despite achieving remarkable success in their careers. Lady Gaga, in particular, has shared insights into her personal battles through her autobiographical video, Marry the Night, which is part of her larger project, Odyssey. This piece hints at her own confrontation with despair, illustrating the deep personal challenges she faces alongside her professional triumphs. Gaga's creative work often delves into complex and controversial themes, as exemplified by her song Judas. In this track, she explores her fascination with the figure of Judas Iscariot, the apostle who is infamously known for his betrayal of Jesus Christ after being possessed by Satan, according to Christian tradition. Gaga has openly expressed that, despite her immense fame and the connections it brings, she battles a pervasive sense of loneliness, even within the context of relationships. This feeling of isolation is a recurrent theme in her life and work, underscoring the disconnection that can accompany outward success. In a particularly revealing statement, Lady Gaga recounted a dream in which she encountered Satan, a scenario that would prompt many to seek spiritual refuge. However, instead of turning to religious salvation for comfort or deliverance, Gaga sought advice from Deepak Chopra, a renowned figure in the world of alternative medicine and spirituality. Chopra advised her to engage with her demons, suggesting that confronting these dark aspects could serve as a source of artistic inspiration. This approach reflects a broader trend among some artists who, facing inner turmoil, choose to explore and integrate their darkest experiences into their creative expression rather than seeking escape or relief in traditional religious practices. Gaga's choice to channel her struggles into her art highlights the complex relationship between personal demons and artistic creativity, suggesting that for some, embracing the darkness is a pathway to creating profound and impactful work.
I had this dream quite recently that was so terrifying, so morbid and terrifying, and I called Deepak Chopra, who I work with, and I was telling him my dream, terrified, that the devil, and the dream was so terrifying, I thought somehow a devil force was trying to take hold of me, a darkness. I guess I see devil and darkness as the same thing. And he laughed and told me that I was very creative. And that
that's what it represents.
Learn to embrace my insanity. I have incessant nightmares, but I've learned to love them because they somehow end up on stage or in my work.
Katy Perry, who initially aimed to make a career as a Christian artist, openly admitted that she couldn't achieve success in that genre and ended up selling her soul to the devil for her pop career. This statement metaphorically expresses how she compromised her initial goals and values to attain fame and success in the mainstream music industry.
Yeah, I mean, I released a gospel record when I was 15 because I grew up in, a household where all I ever did was listen to gospel music, and my parents are both traveling ministers, and so that was kind of like my first introduction to music, and it was kind of like, that's all I ever knew. That was my life, my faith, my church, my church friends and things like that. So I kind of sang about, what was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry, is through gospel music. And then it didn't work out. Like, it was quite a little blip on the radar. I think the label went bankrupt or what have you, and because I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music, but it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Since selling out to Satan, Katy Perry has periodically struggled with depression and thoughts of
I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes. I really want to be my authentic self, like 100%. I'm ashamed. Because of course, Katy Perry's so strong. I feel ashamed that I would even have those thoughts, I'd feel that low or that depressed.
Comedian and actor Russell Brand, who ended his marriage with Katy Perry after just a year, recognized that a life dedicated to hedonism and consumerism left him feeling void and spiritually depleted.
Once we put our satisfaction beyond our individual needs, we are no longer malleable by the pre-existing system. The system requires us to be as selfish little consumerist pods. Once we go, I ain't bothered about that, it's easier for me because I've been famous now, I know that's boring. I've been rich now, I know that's boring. I fuck loads of people now, I know that's boring. I took loads of drugs now, no, that's boring. So all that's left is spiritual enlightenment.
Numerous people yearn for joy, peace, and fulfillment. Yet these feelings continue to elude them throughout their lives. As observed, even those deemed most successful by worldly standards confess to feeling a profound emptiness. The pressing question remains whether we will heed the lessons of those who have preceded us, understanding that life's essence extends beyond wealth, renown, aesthetic appeal, sexual encounters, substance abuse, and authority. Will we recognize the futility of pursuing paths that lead nowhere? Or worse, into deeper despair? Shia LaBeouf, celebrated for his role in the hit Transformers series and achieving unparalleled box office success for his generation, echoed this sentiment of emptiness and confusion, a sentiment shared by numerous other celebrities. He commented, "The good actors are all troubled. They're all grappling with pain. This profession attracts the disillusioned and the heartbroken." LaBeouf openly shared, "At times, I find myself living a life devoid of meaning, and it terrifies me. This vast insecurity within me, it feels like a void only God can fill. If only I had the answers, I'd address it immediately. I'm clueless about everything. Why am I battling alcoholism? I have no idea. What's the purpose of life? I'm just as lost." With the multitude of stars admitting their engagement in satanic and occult activities in the pursuit of wealth and fame, seemingly at the cost of their very souls, one must ponder the solution. Shia LaBeouf later expressed finding peace in his soul through embracing Jesus Christ. Russell Brand has voiced a sentiment that humanity is in search of fulfillment in avenues that ultimately render them hollow. Brand further stated, "It seems we've been deceived into denying God's existence. I personally believe that Christ's teachings have never been more pertinent. For personalities like Deion Sanders and countless others, the singular and definitive resolution lies in a relationship with Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior."
How did you come to know Christ?
How did I come?
Tell me that moment.
Hell. I was kissing hell. I was making love to hell. I was adopted by hell. I was going through hell at the height of everything, winning Super Bowls, playing in World Series, doing my thing, but had no peace, no joy. Didn't feel like no one loved me but my kids. They're the only thing that I felt like was real and authentic and loved me because they're the only one who knew me. You could sleep in the bed with 2 and 3 women and nobody's satisfied. You got 100 suits, you can't cover up the pain. You've got 300, 400, 500 pairs of shoes, you can't take a step in the right direction. You got 9 to 10 cars in the driveway, you ain't going nowhere. You got a 15,000 square foot house, but you ain't got a home. So now you just crying out. You're crying out for help. And you began to be.
If you're there, what's the word of hope that changes that?
The word of hope is sooner or later, you're going to have to surrender. You're going to have to surrender. Because you may not see it now. You may not know it now. But life is so much better if you just surrender. Why are you fighting a fight that's already fixed? Surrender. I didn't really know what that meant when I see people on television come out. You know, the old Western, they came with their hands up. They're surrendering. They say, you got me. You got me. I'm not fighting no more. You got me. Don't shoot. You got me. And that's how I went to God. And see, I had a moment. That's why nobody can tell me nothing about the gospel of Christ Jesus. Nobody can tell me nothing about who he isn't, because I had a moment right in a room in Cincinnati, Ohio, a condo by myself. When I finally got on my knees that night and I surrendered, I said, Lord, if you here, take me, I'm yours. And the lights that came into that room, the sound and the wind, the whistling, and it came through that room, and it's like papers was flying, and the light was so bright and radiant that I was just crying out, Lord, take me. And it was so the most beautiful thing I've ever saw. I had a real visitation. And when I tell you he came. God has always spoken to me. And I always knew it was him. I just wasn't ready at that particular time to accept the charges because I felt like it was going to cost me too much. I could do this. I don't have to be perfect, Pastor. I just got to be present. God hadn't called me to be perfect. He called me to be present.
Guys, we see these signals, hear these stories, watch these interviews, and for a moment, we pause, think, that's odd, and then move on. Not really letting it sink in. But what if there's truth to it? What if all these signs are pointing us towards making a choice to step towards something better, something good? Choosing to explore faith and give God a chance isn't about fear-mongering. It's about hope. It's about feeling that tug in your heart that says there's more to life than what meets the eye. It's about not waiting for something drastic to happen to seek out the light. In a world that feels increasingly overwhelming, turning to Jesus Christ is about finding peace amidst chaos, about seeing life through a lens of love and compassion rather than fear and competition. It's worth asking ourselves, what if? What if taking a step towards God and embracing faith could bring about the change we've been searching for? What if, amidst all the noise, there's a path leading to calm, to clarity, to a sense of belonging with God? It's about giving it a shot, about choosing to see the world not just for its shadows, but for the light that could be. So, why not explore this path? Why not see if faith and a connection with Jesus Christ bring about those changes, that peace, that sense of purpose we all crave? If the stories are true, if there's even a sliver of reality to the tales of darkness, then surely the journey towards light, towards Jesus, is worth embarking on. Let's choose to fight the good fight, to lean into faith, to welcome Jesus Christ into our lives, and watch as the world transforms around us, one heart at a time.
Tell me, how can I make it when I always fake it? Oh, how can I save me when I feel like breaking? Oh,